All right, here we are in social studies for your assignments for the week of January 18th through the 22nd. First things first, once again, there is no school on Monday, January 4th. Guess what? There's also no school on Monday, January 18th. And haha, it magically fixed itself. Look, there's no school on Monday, January 18th. We're doing the chapter review. As you can see in red at the bottom, we have a chapter 5 test on Friday. So part of that is the chapter review. I split it into two sections. The first one is questions number 8 through 15. The second one is number 16 through 22 and number 24. And an Edpuzzle, what is kosher? So let's go into these a little bit more in detail. However, before we get into that, in the classwork tab, I showed these on Zoom a little bit on Friday. This is highly recommended. As you know, I feel it is important to be citizens of our state and our country and in the world that we live in, is to be aware of the things that are happening around us. So this is Dr. King's full speech. It's about 17 minutes long. I would highly recommend it with the visuals. It's pretty cool. So there's that. Next, Monday the 18th, no school, in observance of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. There you go. So Tuesday, chapter 5, review part 1. So I have even split this in parts for you as well in different assignments. So here, below are the review questions. You must answer using complete sentences to earn full credit, which is 3 points per question. We're in the second semester. Things are going to get more challenging because my job is to prepare you to be successful in 7th grade. And I know your 7th grade English and social studies teacher, and she has high standards. So my job is to get you there so that when you get to Miss Kane's class, you'll be ready to go, and she will be so impressed with you as students. So these are main ideas. Support your answers with evidence from the chapter. Hey, guess what? If I want to find out what God wanted the Israelites to do to fulfill their covenant, I would look in lesson 1.1. It tells me right where to look. How fancy is that? What important religious beliefs set the Israelites apart? Maybe in lesson 1.2, because it says it right here, is where I would find that information. So each one of those has a lesson reference. Notice it continues on to the second page. And so that is like 8 questions there. Back to classwork. On Wednesday, we have Edpuzzle. What is kosher? So you will hear about kosher and things like that. It is a type of dietary requirements that people who follow Judaism follow, and to different degrees. You can see it even on current foods. So we'll talk about that a little bit in class on Wednesday as well. But this is an Edpuzzle. You've done Edpuzzles before. You know how to get there. You know what to do. Moving on. Chapter 5, review part 2. So this is a separate Google Doc. And these are longer kind of questions. Answer the following questions. Support your answers with evidence from the chapter. So here is asking you to put a little bit more thought into it. And nothing is going to come from a very specific lesson. It's going to kind of take the chapter as a whole. I will tell you this to be certain. The essential question, there's going to be an essay question on the test that is exactly this question. How did the Jews develop and maintain their cultural identity? So make sure that you look through the chapter and find the 3 or 4 things that they do to maintain their cultural identity, whether it was in the 2000 BC or in 2020 AD. So we have, again, full sentences Here's a nice, you decide, oh, it's continued on the next pages. So be sure to come down. And here's an interpret timelines. So who destroyed the temple and exiled the 2 tribes of Judah to Babylon? So I'm going to look for, on this timeline, Moses, Israelites escape, Israelites finally reach Canaan. Well, if he builds his temple in 970, it has to be after that. They're divided. Here it is. King Nebuchadnezzar destroys Jerusalem and Solomon's temple. So I can say, who destroyed the first temple? And I would say King Nebuchadnezzar. So how you'd answer that. Which empire destroyed the northern kingdom? You will find the answers on the timeline. And then write about history. Here's some, it says, which of the 10 commandments do you think has the greatest impact on society? Here is a minimum of 3 sentences. And here's some tips. The 10 commandments are in lesson 1.4. Write down the commandment, under it list 3 effects of this commandment on society. Use vocabulary as appropriate, so on and so forth. So the second part of the chapter 5 review is going to take you longer than the first part will. So if you finish the first part, I wouldn't wait until Thursday to do the second part. I would probably get started on that sooner than later. And then Friday, we'll be taking the chapter 5 test in class. You may use your textbook. I believe I have enough copies for everybody, but to be sure, you might want to bring your textbook to class as well. We will be taking notes on Wednesday. You'll be able to use your notes and anything else, including your chapter review. So if you have your chapter review and you want to print that out so you have the answer to those questions, or if you want to handwrite notes off of your chapter 5 review, I would highly recommend that. All of those materials you'll be able to use on taking the chapter 5 test in class on Friday. As always, if you have questions from me, about me, or for me, then you should contact me here on Google Classroom in a private comment on the specific assignment or through email. Have a great week.